What's up, guys? We're back here with episode 2, lesson 2 of the beginner series for Lua tutorial. We're going to be talking about properties and instancing, and also I'm going to go over a little bit more of the studio, because the last episode was kind of basic, just kind of teaching you guys like the basic navigation. Okay, so properties. Obviously, when you have things in the game, you want to be able to manipulate like the special characteristics that it has, such as like color of the parts, the size, the type of part it is, just a lot of things. Like, cause when you see things like that are moving around, for example, like projectiles, those have had properties like changed to them, which allows this manipulation of the game, because without properties you can't actually really do anything. So I'm just gonna go over that again real quick. So I'm just gonna do this real quick. So make sure, obviously, when you go into Studio, that you have Explorer open, properties, that's what we're going over, have command bar open, output open. That's the bare minimum. That's basically all you need, just for starters. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna really quickly put a part right there. Let's go close that. Now, to check the properties of a part or whatever, select it real quick, and you have it right here. And then here is the properties tab right there. You can move it to the side here, however you want it. I personally do it like this. That's what's worked out for me. So, we got this part here. What are the characteristics of this part? Say we want it to be transparent. Well, halfway transparent. Obviously, if you do, the higher the transparency, like as in like 0 to 1, the more visible it gets. I don't know what to say. Yeah. And then you can just play with these things. They do all those type of like different things for whatever property it is. See, reflectance basically reflects off the skybox, and you can just see it. You can just put that back, and then color here. Here we can change the color of the properties. Oh, change the color of the properties. What the hell? You can do that. Just play around with these things. That's the way how you're gonna learn how to do a lot of these cool tricks. And here we're gonna change the size. Right here. Remember how the last episode I said the X, Y, and Z axes? Yeah. So there's only three sides of any 3D object, of course. Here the x-axis is the longest one right here. Oops. That's the longest one, which means it's 4 studs. Z is the second longest, which is right here, right there, and then Y is the lowest, right here. And we can manually type in numbers, and it's gonna change. Do that to 50. Look how big it gets on the y-axis. We can just go back. We can even change the shape of it. Make it a cylinder. Make it a block. Just put it back to block. Put it back to the size it was before. The smallest size anything can get, well, specific like blocks, you can't actually make them 0 to 0. If you do that, it's gonna automatically default to something very small, like that. It's still there, but it's very small. You could also change the name of the part. Changing names of objects in the game are very important. It helps with organization and finding things a lot quicker. So we can literally just change that to anything we want right here. big part. And we could also do the same thing just by immediately right clicking over it and obviously select it right here. And then you could go right there, right click it, change the part, whatever you like. And here you can change cast shadow, which allows obviously like shadows to appear from the sun. You can see it right there. We could just change that back to what it was before. Okay. Yeah. And honestly, just play around with the parts, properties of just random objects. If you wanted to just insert random objects in the game and just see the properties of what they are, honestly, just select things. Right? Like before, last time when I changed the time of day, I was selecting lighting and I checked its properties. I manipulate the properties of what it has right here, and I can manually just do these type of things because we got access to the properties. Without that, we can't do anything, which sucks. Let's not delete that part. Okay. Right, okay. So, say you're scripting, right? And you want to insert a part into the game by script. Because obviously you're not going to be able to, when you're actually playing a game and you have scripts being active, you're not going to be able to just go in studio and just manually insert a part. You're going to have to do it by script. So the way how you do that is, in this case, what we're going to do here is, let's get rid of that. We're going to add a script into the game. Let's just do it in workspace because that's fine. There you go. And there's 3 types of scripts in game right now. Oh, not right now, forever. There's a server script, which looks like that. There's a local script, and there's a module script. Local scripts and module scripts I'll go over later. For the time being, you guys can just use basic scripts. And yeah, and if you want to zoom in or out, you just hold control and you just zoom in with your mouse right there. And then if you just go out, you can just constantly swap back in. Okay. So, before I do this, I'm going to explain what printing is. Printing is very, very important. Well, basically like output manipulation. That's extremely important. The reason being is because, say there's errors in your script and obviously you don't, and say you don't know where it breaks at. You can use prints to check, or for it to like, well, basically for it to like send a message to you, and if it doesn't reach it, then that means it broke at a specific line. But what printing does, it literally just prints out whatever message in the output. That's why I said you should have output open. Basically right here, this is the command bar. You can think of that as a script that'll automatically run the moment you press enter. So if I just do that, here we get the message hello world right here in the output. But the same thing happens if we just leave it like this. But the difference being is, again, this one right here is the output and it will activate the moment you press enter. This one here, the scripts right here, you have to actually start the game and then it'll actually work. So let's just hit play. And right there, we got hello world. Another thing is, you can actually check right here. This is developer console. I'll go over this as well later on. You can see the message right there is the exact same thing. And there's different types of outputs. There's warn, and there's also error. There's also another one, not entirely sure. Error, you really shouldn't use that just yet. Warn, honestly, it just sticks out completely different. So let's just add another exclamation mark right there. Hello world with warn is going to be yellow in the output. So just do as you please with whatever one. And yeah, okay. Okay, so we're gonna create a part by script. So how do we do that? So we're gonna use something called instance.new. Right, okay, so we can just briefly go over this. So the first argument, string value. So basically that's the type of object it is. And let's just actually go over this real quick. Every object in the game has a class to it. In this case right here, the class name of this part is a part. The class name of this model is a model. So imagine what that would do. If we do instance.new model, that means it's going to create a new model where we put it. In this case, we're going to put it into workspace because obviously this is a 3D environment. We want to see it in front of us. Otherwise, it's not going to be there. So what we're going to do real quick is do instance.new. And like I said, the class name of this part is a part. So we're going to do part right there. And there we go. Okay, so we did instance.new part, but it's not added. It's not in workspace. We don't see it. Nothing changed, right? Nothing changed. That's because it doesn't have a parent. When parts or things have a parent, that means they exist underneath something. So the parent of this model right here, Coliseum, is workspace. We can see it because it exists. When you do just instance.new part or instance.new whatever, and you don't actually parent it to something, it's not actually going to be there. You won't see it unless you manually put it someplace. So you can just put the comma right there. You could do workspace, which is right there, workspace, or you could do game.workspace. Doesn't really matter. I just do workspace because it's easier. So we copy and paste that right there. And as you can see, some new part just got added. Some new part just got added. We can just do that again. And notice if we keep spamming it, more parts keep getting added into workspace. Alright, so you know how earlier when we had that basic part right there and we were manipulating the objects manually by just like dragging the stuff around right here? You can do that by script as well. And this is where things come in handy. You can manually script it, just script the whole details of a part or any object by script, and you can manually put it into the game, which makes everybody's life easier. Now, the trick to this though is we're gonna have to make it a variable. We're gonna have to, first off, we're gonna have to index the actual instance right here. I'll explain that in a second. And then we're gonna have to manipulate the properties of that. So just real quick, let's put this back here. So say we want, you see how right here the brick color is medium stone gray. Say we want it to be navy blue, but we're gonna do that by script. We're gonna manually insert a new object into workspace, and then we're going to change it by script. Okay, so what we do here is, let's do local my part equals instance.new part. Now you might be wondering, why did I get rid of the workspace? That's you can actually leave that there if you want to. I don't think I would recommend it. Just for like efficiency reasons. It's not really that good to use the second argument there, but just for now we can leave this here. So what we're doing is here, we are making this variable right here be equal to instance.new part. Now, earlier we had this, which automatically makes the part and it parents it into workspace so that we can actually see it. That is equivalent to doing my part dot parent equals workspace. So let me just go over that again. This is equivalent to that. Right? Just watch again. You can really quickly do that. What's this? What? No clue what that is. Okay, whatever. So notice how if we press output, or we put into output, we hit enter, a part just got added into the game. We can see it right there. Delete it. Do it again. Booyah, it's right there. Now, this time we're going to want to actually change the color. We're going to change the color to navy blue, just like earlier. So what you do is you do my part dot. See, this is where you can actually see all the properties by script right here. So notice how we see dot anchored. Now, if I go back to an actual part here and I just find the anchored property, we can see it's right there. And then you can see it, yeah, just play around with that. And you can manually do it by script. But this time we're going to be changing the brick color of the part. So we see it right here. That's just an example. So brick color, it goes brick color dot new. And this is where you type in the color. You can see a bunch of colors right here. You can manually put them in here. The thing is, you have to make sure that the text that you put in here is correct. You can easily just go to Roblox brick colors. You can get the names of them right here. That's just if you want to be extra. So navy blue, and it actually autocorrects it for you. So when we do this, we put it back. Kaboom. We got exactly what we wanted. The part is in workspace, and we changed the color of the part by script. And again, we can do the exact same thing by literally just pressing play, and it should be there. We'll just do this real quick. There it is right there. Pretty cool, right? Now say we want to change the properties even more. We want to change, you know how earlier you can rename parts just by doing that? Change it to whatever you want. We're going to change it to, change the name of the part to blue part. So you just do, you go back to the variable that you index. You just do my part name equals blue part. Now we put that back here. Blue part, there it is. Yes, sir. And we could even go even extra. We could change it to be halfway transparent, just like before. If you can see, it's halfway transparent pretty much. And actually, yeah, I'm gonna go over what values are in the next video. Value types, and I'll probably go over, I don't think I'm gonna do local variables yet. It's not really necessary. Let's just check. Let's see, what do I have in the curriculum? Basics. Yeah, okay, variables is in lesson 3, which I'm gonna go over this local and stuff like that. I'll go over that later. Accessing of properties. I'll go over values as well. Values on that next video. So just for now, you can play around with that, just for the time being. And yeah, but that's the gist of it. Am I Vice, man? Man or girl, whatever, whatever you are. Um, when you use YouTube or whatever to learn how to think, so not even YouTube actually. When you're learning anything, uh, pause the video and go back and test it out yourself. Just play around with yourself. It doesn't have to be exactly the same stuff that I put here. Like you could literally just change this to green part, and then you could change the color to just find something that says green, sage green, for example. We hit play, or we copy that, we paste it in here. Green part, it's right here. You see what I mean? Like, it's all about experimentation and testing out the waters yourself. That's how you're gonna get comfortable, and that's how you're gonna remember these things by heart. Because that's what you want to do. You don't want to just watch the video, go to the next one, watch the video, watch the next one. Pause it. It should take like a 10-minute video, right? Maybe it should take you like 20 minutes to actually get through the whole video. Twice as long. That's what I did, and that's what worked well for me. That's basically the form. It's just like if you're looking at a YouTube video or whatever it is, try to take like 20 minutes to go through the video, or just twice as the length of the video, and then that's how you'll kind of like get more used to it. All right. So let's change this even more. Let's get some more cool properties. So why don't we make the part pretty big? Let's make it like part.size. Just by default, the regular Roblox part size when you just insert it is going to be like vector3.new 4, 1, and 2. Let me just go over vectors real quick. So remember, there's always 3 axes to something. You got the X, Y, and the Z. Now notice something. Just watch this right here while I change the scale, the size of this part. When I scale it by the X1, it raises on the X value. And if I do the same, it raises on the Y value. Whoops. Same thing with the Z value. Now, just like the brick color, we can manually change that by code. The way how you do that is you do vector3 dot new, and then you put in the X, Y, and the Z number that you want it to be. So let's make it pretty big. Let's make it 35. That's going to be a perfect cube. And yeah, so vector 3, just there's 3 vectors. That's the easiest way to think about it. If you wanted something to be a 2D object, that's something like on your screen, you just do vector 2, and just anything that's 2D only has 2 axes. In this case, it's literally just the X and Y axes. That's basically what everything on your screen is actually. Like if we really think about it, everything is pretty much 2D on your screen. Well, at least for like GUIs and things like that. But anyways, you can just go back. Bam. Look at that. That's a big part. Now if we select this part, green part, and we go down to size, we just change the properties manually right here. So things to get out of this video: play around with these. Play around with all the properties you can as much as possible, just to familiarize yourself with it. And there's more properties or more objects in the game than you think. It doesn't even need to be just a part that you're adding into the game. But for starters, that's what I'd recommend, just doing part, because that's the most basic thing. So remember how we said the class name of this right here is a model? You could just do that, model. And if you want to see all the what do you call it, objects in the whole game, you could just go to, I think it's like here or something, you just go to insert object, and these are all the type of things. And just saying, they are case sensitive, so obviously you make sure you get the name right and play around with those things. So some basic properties of a model is, I don't think we should do model. Let's do something basic. Model's fine. So model has kind of like smaller properties, doesn't have that many as compared to part, but you kind of get the gist of it. The trick to learning anything really is repetition, commitment, and just getting it over with. You do that, then you'll be able to learn really quickly, especially if you're having fun with it. I wouldn't say don't force yourself, because like a couple of my friends, I tried teaching them how to script. Well, I didn't try teaching them. It's just I don't think it was for them. It just honestly wasn't for them. So they went to do other things like animating or whatever. Yep, that's what it is, man. It's in the end, it just goes down to what works best for you, and what you can get the most out of. So with that, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I'm gonna leave you guys with that. What? Make sure to subscribe, like the video. I'm probably gonna get more into this YouTube stuff. This channel is probably just gonna be about just teaching Lua and just basic developer strategies and things like that. That's I think the content I'm gonna do on this channel now, and just having fun. All right, guys, see ya.